catch your eye like a big pizza pie. That's amore. When the world seems to shine like you've had too much wine, that's amore. Bells will ring, ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling, and you'll sing Vita Bella.
Hello there, welcome back to Alberto's La Bella Cuccina show. Today I want to say a special hello to Fresno, to Morgan Hill, to Gilroy, in all of those great areas that watch my show every Tuesday. Today I'm very proud to have an incredible guest. Our guest, his name is, you want to guess who he is? His name is Dave Porter, our supervisor. Mr. Porter, welcome. And it's a great pleasure to have Mr. Porter in our show live from you, so you know all of these beautiful things, great experiences that he had when he was a young man. He still is a young man at 38, but I mean, you know, we all get a little old. He's 39 or 40.
I wish.
I wish. And we all wish to be in this big shape, you know. Yeah, he plays hockey and tennis, and you know, what else do you play?
Yeah, throw a little golf in there and pretty rounds it around there.
Wow, yeah, he's a great doubles player also. So let's just start with Mr. Porter. Let's ask him, how did you become so interested in your career as as a popular person, having such incredible positions?
It's a good question. It's actually a complete accident. I never took a poli-sci class in my life. I was a random voter, but I'm a building contractor by trade, and so about 28 years ago, I was building my own house in Monterey.
Right.
I'm from Boston, so I'm building a colonial home. It had 2 bay windows in the front of the house, and one of the people on the architecture review committee said, "Well, I never really liked bay windows, so we'll approve your house, but get rid of those bay windows." And I said, "Well, it's not really a reason; it's bias." I said, "This is colonial architecture, clapboard siding, shutters, shingles, bay windows." And this person said, "Maybe you didn't understand. We'll approve your house if you get rid of the bay windows."
Wow.
So I knocked the bay windows out, but about 4 months later, there was an ad for a vacancy on the architecture review committee, and I applied and was appointed by the council to be on the architecture review committee, and then I was on the architecture review committee for a couple of years, and I was on the planning commission for 4 years, and I got talked into running for council. I won that election, and then after that, I got talked into running for the board of supervisors. Sam Karras was one of the people who, Barbara Shipnook was another one who said you should run for board of supervisors. I thought it was kind of a lateral move. I didn't realize it was quite as complex as it is.
Yeah.
But it's been a very interesting challenge. My parents gave me a good education. I was an English major in college, so it helps if you can communicate. And it's been fascinating.
Extremely. Yeah. Yes. And you were also at Coastal Commission.
All right. I was on the commission for 13 years. That's a fascinating organization.
It is. What does that actually covers? I mean, coastal. I mean, all of the areas surrounding the coast.
1,100 miles of coastline, Mexico, all the way to Oregon. Some places only a few city blocks in the inland areas. Other areas several miles inland, and 3 miles out into the ocean.
Pardon me. So you actually govern all that. So your say will say yes, go for it, or build this or build that.
Yeah. If a community has its own local adopted coastal plan, it doesn't necessarily have to go to the commission unless somebody objects, and then they appeal it to the commission, and the commission can take away every single permit you've received to date. It's a very, very powerful decision-making body, more powerful than anything other than a court of law.
Wonderful. Yeah. What a responsibility for you to have.
Fascinating people, very interesting people, great education in the state of California.
Sure is.
We'd meet once a month in a different coastal city, anywhere from 3 to 5 days a month.
And you had that position for many years.
13 years.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I was the longest by an elected official on the commission. There are 3. You've got 4 appointed by the governor, 4 by the leader of the Senate, and 4 by the Speaker of the House. So it's a very political body. It can tend to, change based on the political whims of the electorate that put people in office in Sacramento.
Marvelous. That's incredible.
It was a challenge, let me tell you.
Sure. Before that, you were
I was still on. I did that while I was on the Board of Supervisors. So I did that and was on the Board of Supervisors at the same time.
Wonderful. Now, Dave, when you were in college, did you play football or you played tennis?
I
You were a
played
hockey man.
I played baseball. I played baseball. I played hockey. I did a lot of skiing. I went to prep school in New Hampshire, so we were able to use the Dartmouth skiway to train.
You're like a pro now.
Yeah, I haven't been on skis in a while. I've been on the ice a lot, but I haven't been skiing. It's a funny story, not to digress, but I'm actually here in Monterey by accident. True story. I was a ski bum in Vail, Colorado in '71, and working in the kitchens at the lodge in Vail. I came to California for the summer, and I was on my way back to Vail for the next season. I ran out of gas at the top of the Carmel Hill. I ran out of gas. I coasted into town. I got a job immediately, like within hours, working at the Shutters restaurant for Leo Copper, one of the old restaurateurs of the area. The Shutters used to be one of the well-known watering holes, and Leo put me to work, and when we were done closing up the restaurant that night, he said, "Hey, Red, kid like you, you shouldn't be in the kitchens. You need to be in construction." Yeah, I used to have red hair. I still think I do, but apparently I don't. And he's the one who got me into construction. He said, "I'm building on a restaurant." He was building a Hofbrau over in Seaside. He said, "I want you to go over there and work with my boys over there." So that's how I got into construction, but completely by accident.
Did you enjoy the restaurant business?
Yeah, I did. I
you
still
a waiter
do.
I
I worked in the back, food prep, and actually doing dishes. And then on the weekends, I was the buffet chef who carved the prime rib with the big knife and a stovepipe hat and everything.
Like prime rib, like Lowry's a prime rib.
And I had a very red complexion, kind of looked, Irish, of course.
Of course, yeah.
And so it was pretty entertaining. People come up and they'd stand there and you'd carve the beef. They'd
so
have
you
a
had the
picture
medium
taken.
cod, the English cod, or the big cod. What you got, Brady cod, or what do they call that?
Well, I'd actually have the knife.
Really?
Oh yeah, no, it was all a bunch of ceremony, but it was good fun. Yeah,
that was wonderful.
A little while ago.
I did that too. I did have some carvings too, and
well, my wife's in the industry.
Right.
She's a general manager at the Portola Hotel, so obviously I'm still indirectly involved.
Yes, indeed, sure, indeed. They have a lot of good restaurants in there and a few bars in there too.
Oh, absolutely. Peter V's. It's probably one of the few hotels I would suspect in the country that actually has a fully operating brewing facility in the hotel, and they now distribute that beer. It's on sale at Whole Foods. It's on tap in several of the bars.
Very popular.
Wharf Market has it. Yeah, it's been
everywhere.
doing very well. They've won.
You can find that beer anytime you like.
Peter B's.
You can go to Safeway. You get it in Safeway at Del Monte Center. Mm-hmm. At Del Monte, you can have that beer too.
Yeah. It's good
stuff. That's great.
Yeah.
So she's been in that hotel down now for
let's
a few
think,
years.
5 going on 6 years. Yeah, she used to be the general manager at the Lodge in Pebble Beach.
Yeah.
And so you hear the stories daily of what's going on both in the front of the house and the back of the house. And as you know, it's a very dynamic business. It's also any food prep, any restaurants. They're always cyclical. Good days and bad days. They don't. Consistency.
Yes, it is up and down. And as a matter of fact, I know a lot of chefs that started. Chef Jake was one of the super chefs in there. That it's very bad that he's gone out of that area because I think your wife was the manager at the lodge when Chef Jake was there, and he had to say goodbye.
Well, as I said, the industry is really volatile, but they're really this place has a history of great restaurants, and we can just sort of think back on some of the places that are here. Or you and I were talking about Boston, where I'm from. Some of the old grand restaurants of Boston no longer exist. Anthony's Pier 4.
And they were what kind of restaurants? Were they luxury restaurants?
Luxury restaurants.
They actually are disappearing. The fact that nowadays, let's say now, would you prefer a small little snack like that, like you call it new food, the new school, the new little things in there, like a butterfly and a little piece of steak like that's your meal. Then you come out of there, you eat a hamburger. So that first meal costs you $200. So I don't see the
Yeah. I think the industry is changing, as you were saying.
I'm old school. I like to feed you. You come in, you eat in my restaurant, and you go satisfied. I give you pasta, or if you don't want pasta, I'll give you veggies, whatever you want with your main course. And I think all food stays here, and it's going to stay longer. But even luxury restaurants nowadays, they don't give you bread.
Yeah.
You have to buy bread.
Yeah.
And they give you water. They say, "Can I have some water?" Sure, it's $6 a bottle.
Yeah. Well, and then, obviously facing some of the issues we have around here, the shortage of water, that constrains not just the restaurants, but the hotels, too.
Definitely. And everything, I mean, imagine laundries and things
Absolutely.
like that. So it's going to be a problem, but don't you think so?
Oh, absolutely. It's already a problem.
It's already a problem.
Yeah.
I can see the governor going to,
declare a state of emergency,
Yes, indeed, sure, indeed. The restaurant business is amazing. I'm sorry that the lodge lost 19.
Yeah.
19, another place that it was wonderful for many, many years. And what happened to it? It just people. You know what? People are very inconsistent here. I have to say this because they don't actually support their own buildings, their own restaurants, their own, Carmel. Just visitors. They come in, a tourist comes in, and then once in a while nowadays the Ocean Avenue, and probably Saturday and Sunday they're gone.
Yeah, that's one nice thing about the Carmel Residents Association. They actually have a dine-out night where the Residents Association picks a specific hotel and dines local to help those businesses. And it's not a massive crowd, but it helps with business, and it's indicative of an organization that really understands.
That should be done everywhere because this show actually is to make Pacific Grove stronger because we have the same thing, or even better beaches, better restaurants, even better hotels in the area of Pacific Grove than Carmel. I mean, I don't try to compete with Carmel, but I want people to stay and support all of the great restaurants we have in Pacific Grove.
Yeah, you get some great
and many people go and travel somewhere else, and we save them gas, we save them all kinds of things. The fact that we have really good restaurants in the Pacific Grove area. Not only mine, but there's others that they have other restaurants that I was saying.
Well, and I like those intimate restaurants like yours, where it doesn't seat 200 people.
Exactly.
It's got the personalized service,
and they know
attention
you,
to quality,
welcome, this and that. They know everything. But the other restaurants is just, and as I said, I don't like to say this, but I think that with time, the old food is going to come back again. The small restaurants are going to survive, hopefully, and everything will get better. And then perhaps with time, the old restaurants like they used to be. Was it Galantines?
Oh, sure. Gallatin's, Neil Devon's, the Clock, the Shutters.
The Clock was a wonderful. I never saw the Clock, but they told me there was a fun restaurant.
Yeah.
Now it's an Indian restaurant. It has been there for what? I don't know.
It's been there for a while now.
5 or 6 years. A lot of restaurants, they are actually closing in that area. There's a place up in even Cannery Row is closing.
Yeah, amazing.
Closing, which is it is amazing. But now imagine the rents in there.
Well, I think that's been a very high driving factor is the cost of operations of business. It's very difficult.
Any restaurateur that tries to be in the Cannery Row area, you talk to the landlord, and he not only wants key money, but he wants a lot of money in the rent of the lease. So if you want to rent anything there or lease anything there in that area, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And then if you go into the wharf, you have to have a lease, what do they call it, a grandfather lease or something like that. It's going to be like 99 years, like we were talking about the person that we talked about before, and they own a lease for 99 years.
Right.
So
well, it's always refreshing when you see somebody coming along like the Antles and the amount of money and effort they put into the wharf marketplace. That's an impressive facility. You can eat there. You can have a glass of wine there. You can get fresh produce. You get some fresh seafood. It's a fun spot. But that was a significant investment, much more than they'd anticipated.
Right.
And you don't find people like that often. They're willing to take that kind of risk.
No. Actually, we have a lot of good things that have been empty there for years now, and there's no money to bring them back to life.
Oh, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is.
Because we are a spectacular destination.
It is. It is. The fact that we have just about anything you like. great ocean, great restaurants, great theaters.
Well, that's what I love the most about it. I'm from a small town just south of Boston,
Right.
but it's on a harbor that's an offshoot of Boston Harbor. So, I go back once a month to check on my 96-year-old mother, and she still is very active. To be honest with you, she likes a bourbon before dinner, and we'll go out to a restaurant or we'll go shopping, and then to dinner, catch a movie or something. But I've got the best of both coastal environments, the spectacular inland waterways of New England, and then the coast of the dramatic coast of California. I represent Big Sur, one of the most spectacular areas in this state, if not this entire coastline.
It is indeed, yes, and there's so much here to offer.
Absolutely.
And sometimes that I'm not too impressed is the fact that when there is let's say AT&T or when there's something, the events like that, everything goes up.
Yeah.
And then, of course, people get scared. I don't want to go there. Restaurants in Canada Row, they go up $2, or the ones that go up more.
Well, and the room rates move around and everything.
There you go. So in the world, and they say, well, we're booked because, they want no children, none of this, none of that. What are you going to do?
Well, we've got, as I said, some incredible venues that people come for. The concourse, that used to be just a weekend event. It's Thursday, Friday. It's a whole week now. Of course, it comes with its associated issues. People complain about the traffic.
That is my best, one of my best, times for when Concord is here. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk more about this Concord and all these great events and more right after this message.
Sullivan here for the Edge of Glory, the best knife sharpener money can buy. It's so precise, it'll turn this plastic credit card into a precision cutting instrument. The Edge of Glory is no ordinary knife sharpener. Its dual-hardened teeth hone any blade to a razor's edge that'll put the bite back into your dullest knife. It locks onto any smooth surface, then just draw the knife, and that old knife is ready for more. We took this plastic credit card and tried to cut a tomato. Nothing happens, but 1, 2, 3, 4, and now it's got an Edge of Glory that slices like magic. Call now and get the Edge of Glory for just $10.99. You'll also get a complete 3-piece knife set. They're a $20 value, yours free. But order now and you can double this entire offer. You get 2 Edge of Glories and 2 knife sets for $10.99. Order now and find out about free shipping.
Call 1-800-617-9159 and get your Edge of Glory. But hurry, we're giving away a special offer on a second Edge of Glory and the knives with today's orders. That's 1-800-617-9159. Call now.
Help! I've fallen and I can't get up.
A fall can render you helpless. You can be stuck on the floor for hours or even days. But with Life Alert Protection, you can get help fast 24/7. One touch of a button sends help immediately, even when you can't reach a phone, whether it's a fall, a medical emergency, an intrusion, a fire, or CO gas. Life Alert Protection is the answer.
When you have a heart attack like I did, and there's no one there, Life Alert was there for me.
Life Alert dispatchers save a life from a catastrophe every 17 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, please call 1-800-551-3524. Don't delay, call now. That's 1-800-551-3524. For your free brochure, call now at 1-800-551-3524. That number again is 1-800-551-3524.
Hello, welcome to Alberto's restaurant. Come on in. At Alberto's, you will have a new experience at great Italian dining. We have fantastic pasta dishes like fettuccine alfredo and eggplant parmesan, and you have to come in and try the chicken marsala and the calamari con limone. I take great pride in everything I prepare, and I know you will love it. And what's dinner without a little wine? At Alberto's, we have a great selection of wines to go with your dinner.
Alberto's Restaurante in Pacific Grove.
Come and see us tonight. Salud. Salud. Hello there, welcome back to Alberto's La Bella Cuccina. We have a great guest today. We're talking about hotel business, restaurant business, and Boston. We're going to talk now about Boston, of the great restaurants in Boston, and when Mr. Porter went to school in Boston, and all of that good stuff.
The good old days.
Yes, the good old days. So tell us all about when you first started. Did you ever play American football or anything like that?
Yeah, well, I played football when I was in high school.
In high school?
And then as I said, I went to a school in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
and so I played football. Then I skied on a ski team, and then and played hockey, and then baseball.
But you
baseball
adore hockey
spring.
better than anything else.
Yeah, I'm a hockey nut. I'm not playing this year. I'll probably play a couple of tournaments, but my son and I were, up until last year, my son and I were on the same team.
Wow.
And that's a treat when you can play with your kid, and you're on I'm a defenseman, he's a forward, so we'd be on the ice, occasionally on a common shift together, and it was good fun.
Where do you practice hockey here? You
The
don't.
nearest ice is in San Jose.
San Jose,
so it's
right.
an hour, 15 minutes one
So
way.
you have to practice that.
Well, and the games are at 11:30 at night on Thursday nights. And,
Never-
a few years ago, I was better at rebounding, short on sleep. But now when you don't get home till 3:30 or 4, and then I've got to get
So
up.
you're back. You play there and back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So
You don't sleep there. You just come back.
No, just come back. But I've been playing out of the Bay Area for about 30 years. There used to be a rink in Marina.
Right.
And so we had some pretty good teams back then. And of course, when Fort Ord was up and running, had a lot of talent coming out of the Army that would come out and play. So we used to field about 8 different teams, and every Sunday we had divisional matches in a league that we had. And Wednesday nights I'd rent the ice. It was $60 an hour. I'd charge everybody $5 a head to come out and skate, and then the goalies could skate for nothing. And then the excess money we took over to Round Table Pizza, and I just put it on the counter and bought
boom.
pizza and beer for everybody until the money was gone. It was a great
idea.
business plan.
It's a great idea, and everybody's happy and satisfied. And
it was a lot of fun.
And they did what they love.
Yeah. Well, hockey's a great game too. It's an international sport.
It is.
Canadians, they live for it. But I toured Europe one time with a hockey team that we put together out of San Francisco.
You're almost a pro.
We played.
You are a pro.
We played hardly. We played 14 games in 18 days in 7 different countries.
Wow.
It was crazy. It was way too much hockey.
And they can be rough. They can get very rough. I mean, they can elbow you and all that.
I eat a steady diet of elbows. Somebody my height, everybody else is just throwing an elbow.
Yeah, the
I'm
elbow,
perfect.
yeah.
So I've had my nose broken. Maybe.
But you have the mask, no?
Yeah, I do.
But it still goes back. It still goes back.
I've had my nose broken 3 times. I've broke my shoulder once. I got a few miscellaneous injuries along the way, but
you still love
play you pay. That's the way it goes. It's kind of like politics. It's a combat sport.
I say I don't know anything about that politics.
But yeah, no, it's a great way to I play in a tournament every year in Vancouver, Canada, and I've been playing up there for probably 30 years in Canada, and now we've got friends up there. We know the right restaurants to go to. When we get there, everybody's glad to see you, and they can go out to visit friends up there. And Vancouver's a great city anyway.
I've been there once, and they have great restaurants right in the marina.
Yep, exactly. Great waterfront town.
It is indeed,
Yeah.
and a nice place to visit. Great airport.
Oh yeah,
and nice people.
Canadian people are good people.
Very native, with the rock formations and all that stuff. That I walk around that beach, they have these rock formations all over.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Everywhere they have these rock formations.
Great inventory of parks too.
Yeah.
Stanley Park.
Yeah, then the rest of it, Canada, I've not been there, but Vancouver was a great experience.
Yeah.
I just went there for fun, just to visit.
Well, it used to be quite affordable when the exchange rate was more favorable.
Right.
But it's still a good time.
Oh, is it Canada the euro? No.
Well, no. It's just the Canadian dollar.
Canadian dollar is just
but
lower.
It used to be about R1 was worth about 4. But then that's
really?
gone. Now it's about even. So,
right.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's a good time.
Well, now, what is your favorite food for you two that you enjoy most?
Well, I get to ask that question.
You will eat every day.
Well, I get to ask that question a lot because we live right in the middle of downtown Carmel.
Right.
Do you know where Auberge is?
Well, of course, yeah.
Okay, well, we're kind of across the street from there. We have
You live across the street from the...
Just about
that hotel, don't Aubergine?
Okay. Yeah, okay, Aubergine. Okay, that's 7th and Monteverde. Yeah, we're one house down 7th, going towards the beach. So we're with them. So everybody everybody says, "What's your favorite restaurant?"
So you've been there a long
Carmel?
time then.
Oh yeah, but so
living there was your very first place to live?
No. I lived in Monterey for years.
And then you just purchased that house about 10 years.
We rent.
Okay.
Yeah. So people say, "Well, what's your favorite restaurant?" Well, it depends on what you want to eat. You know, it's not. I'm just not one. Like I'm not just a steak guy, or I don't want to just go for fish. So some of the great institutions like Anton and Michelle's, I happen to be real fond of. David Fink's a great hotelier. Rich Pepe, Vesuvio's. We were accused of being south of Ocean snobs because we seem to never cross over to the north side of Ocean. So now we've migrated across Ocean Avenue because there's Dolores Street's got a lot of great restaurants in there, and so it's just easier to walk up the hill
There's so
2
many
blocks. The Cypress Inn is right 1 block up the street from us.
I've never been there. That's
it's a great
still Dorsey's place.
Denny Levette, co-owner there, is a good friend of ours, and he's apt to say drop by and have a glass of wine or something. And that's the great thing about Carmel. It's very much like a European village. It's very compact. The lots are very small, but we're 4 blocks from one of the most spectacular ocean or beaches in the state. The white sands of Carmel Beach. The Carmel Rivermouth Beach, and then obviously Pebble Beach right around the corner. Everything within walking distance, especially being able to walk to any of the restaurants.
Right. Yeah.
If Janine gets home late, or I get home late, there's over 45 restaurant, bars, and taverns to pick from. If we're going to eat at home, it's to stop at Bruno's. We'll stop in at Bruno's. You know everybody. It was tragic when Tom the Butcher passed away there. He was such a great guy. Such a great guy. And he could personalize that meal for you. He'd see you looking at the meat counter, and he'd say, "What are you thinking of having?" And we'd well, here's what you should do. Chicken Kiev, or here's a tenderloin here. Here's what you do.
You know how to do chicken Kiev?
No, he'd give us Janine, my wife's a great cook. And I can cook.
Chicken Kiev is a very old dish. I mean, this is old school.
Oh, yeah,
dish.
that's totally old school.
Yeah,
like
I love to go back. Yeah, it is. It is Coffee School.
Yeah.
And I love to. I like to do that in my restaurant. But I mean, when they see that, when you go cut that and the butter jumps up, people say, "Oh my God, I don't want to eat that. It's a lot of fat. No fat. No. What are you going to do? I mean, they want that. I mean, I want to bring that back. I want to bring the Chateaubriand back.
Oh, you can't even find a Chateaubriand in the supermarket.
Yeah,
I saw one for the first time just the other day. It was at Whole Foods, and I hadn't seen it in the market.
Yeah, you can do it.
But you used to have it all the time.
Yeah, you can do the Chateaubriand. Or you can make 2 pieces of fillets and just, tie them together, and you just put all the veggies around. Make some Hollandaise sauce. Boom. That's it.
Yeah.
But I mean, nothing. The steak Diana. I used to.
Oh, of course.
Steak Diana in those days.
Oh, those are classic. Well, vintage. Those vintage cocktails are coming back now, where the old fashioned and the gin fizz and all of those signature drinks of the '60s are back in vogue. Maybe you can bring
Brandy
back.
Alexander.
Yeah, exactly.
The girls
Rusty Nail.
That. There you go.
Yeah. Well, so maybe you can do the same thing with the food.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm trying to get back. But it seems that people, like I said before, bringing the meats and the veals. I don't want to eat veal. So there we go with something like that. And pork is okay. So I do a lot of pork. A lot of Parmesan pork with tomato sauce and cheese. A little pork with like a veal scallopina, very thin. So people don't they don't want to eat too much. They don't want this and that.
Yeah.
So I do keep it from old school to I get you great salads. Like broccoli salads or caprese salads with cheese. Mozzarella cheese and all that. You got to have a good experience eating in my restaurant.
Well,
it's nice. I do it all.
I've been to your place. We love it there. It's just as I was saying when I can walk out the door in Carmel.
Well, of course. When you go to Luca, one of your friends, David. I asked David to come in.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I was coming over. Actually, you know why? Because David is the very first one that thought about bring up all the chefs when he used to work at
Masters of Food and Wine when he was at the Highlands Inn.
When he was at the Highlands Inn, I said, I'd like you to be on my show because
he's doing that again this year. He started it back up.
I hope so because, I don't want to talk more about that, but there's other people are saying, I'm there. And you know.
So what amazes me now is that Brussels sprouts are now very in vogue.
Yeah, well, you dress them more.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, they have some bacon with them and a little bit of garlic.
Brandy,
A
little cream, you know.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, but you know, that makes it even more appetizing than the others. But I mean, and that used to be done years ago. You used to put calvados a little bit, a little cream, you know, and this coffee, so you cut them in halves, or put them in pasta.
Saute them around a little bit.
Yeah, a little garlic. That's it.
Well, they're very trendy now.
It sure is. Yeah. They bake them, and a lot of cheese on top. That's called. When you were a kid, when you were a child. Oh, I don't like that.
No, my mother used to make me eat them, and I couldn't stand them at that age. But it was just because all she did was boil them.
Yeah, and then you were hard.
And they were tough as could be.
We call them al dente. But nowadays, they boil them and they also saute them, like boil and saute, because like you mentioned, they get medium hard.
Yeah.
So you have to bake them again and put a little cheeses, and they'll be perfect.
Making me hungry.
A little casserole.
Yeah. Excellent.
A casserole. So they think it was so he's coming back into the Masters of Wine at Pebble Beach. No,
he's doing something in Carmel.
Wow.
And I'm looking forward to it because David doesn't do anything that isn't first class.
The guy is. I'm telling you, I don't know where he gets investors, but I mean, my goodness, it's just.
Well, he's a good businessman. He runs.
No doubt about it.
Shop.
I think that he did a great thing with the Santa Maria next door to it. That's what we actually needed since the Cornelius had that market.
Remember?
That was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, what in the world? I knew
that would be great to have something like that come back.
Thank you. That'd be great. But I mean, what would you build that? It cost you a fortune.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And the rents in there,
the real estate's too expensive.
I mean, I don't understand.
Mediterranean market.
With Cornelia, remember? Philip
what a place that was.
That's incredible. I mean, and then they had the park. People would go to the park, get a big, nice sandwich. You go to the park, a little Coca-Cola.
Or you could get some sliced meats to take home. They had wine. The cheeses, the olives, the wine. Yeah, I was really sad to see that place go out of business.
There's a lot of places like that, and the pressure is the rent. Yeah. And we're going to come back and do a little more of that talking. And right after this message, thank you.
Me? You got me?
MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
Sure sounds good.
With a lineup of classic television shows you remember.
I remember years later.
And shows you can discover for the very first time.
Remember it now.
MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
Listen up, America!
The price of life insurance has gone down 60% over the last 15 years. Many Americans know they need it, and some that have life insurance know they don't have enough. How would your family get by without you? How are you planning for the uncertainties of life? Guarantee your family $200,000, $400,000, $500,000, $750,000 or more with a term life insurance policy that costs up to 3 times less than other competitors. For example, a healthy 40-year-old man can get a $250,000 term life insurance policy for $16 a month. Don't spend more than you have to on term life insurance. Find out how easy it is to protect the ones you love. The quote is free and there are no obligations. Listen up, America. Call now.
Call 800-402-7631. That's 800-402-7631.
Hello, welcome to Alberto's restaurant. Come on in. At Alberto's, you will have a new experience at great Italian dining. We have fantastic pasta dishes like fettuccine alfredo and eggplant parmesan, and you have to come in and try the chicken marsala and the calamari con limone. I take great pride in everything I prepare, and I know you will love it. And what's dinner without a little wine? At Alberto's, we have a great selection of wines to go with your dinner.
Alberto's Restaurante in Pacific Grove.
Come and see us tonight. Salud. Salud.
MeTV's version of foul language.
They're talking about Fred. They're talking about Fred. Yeah, they're saying cheap, cheap, cheap.
MeTV's political slant.
If you can't trust the voters, whom can you trust?
Credits where credits are due at the end of every show.
Sure sounds good.
MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
Wow.
Hello there, welcome back to Alberto's La Bella Cucina. We're having a great, tremendous talk about restaurant business and restaurant business in general. Restaurant business in Carmel, Pacific Grove, all of the great areas here in this wonderful place, which is the East Coast. And we're talking about one of the biggest guys in town here, Mr. Dave Potter, and he's telling us all of the great restaurants he eats. He enjoys food. He's also a cook. You cook too, right?
Yeah, I can cook, and I can even wash dishes.
There we go.
I did it professionally.
We all started like that.
Yeah,
we did
I did
it
it professionally.
for money.
Yeah,
money.
No, I'm lucky. My wife's a great cook. I enjoy cooking, and it's just it's that time of the day when you can sit around and have a glass of wine and talk about what went on during the course of the day. And we both live pretty busy lives, so there's always some tale to tell.
And your wife has what, 14 hours sometimes a day?
Oh yeah, no, she works extremely hard.
Being a GM in a place like that is just
it's almost 400 rooms. It's the second largest hotel, the Hyatt being the biggest. But there's always something that'll come up. We had friends over for dinner the other night, and then the hotel called, and one of the guests that was staying in the hotel, father of the bride, had a heart attack, and so boom, she had to get up at 10:30 and go in, and didn't come back till 3.
Don't you have
the police and everything? Oh yeah, but when something like that happens, it's a shock to staff. I mean, they passed away, and so you have to be there personally to make sure that your staff is dealing with it emotionally. It's certainly devastating to the family, and you need to provide some support. But that's the son of a good GM. So
it's tough. The restaurant business and the hotel business especially is very tough.
Well, it's got a lot of politics in it. Actually, everybody has to work together as a team. Everybody has different ideas, but you all are in the same business of providing services. And so government doesn't really make anything. We provide service.
Right.
We process permits. We do build some roads, but the majority of our stuff is all service oriented, and so is hospitality. You're not going to have return customers in your restaurant if your service is poor.
Right.
So you really need to make sure that you're working as a team.
Correct. Yes, and then having a great team is having a good food and beverage.
Oh yeah.
Good chefs and all that, good waiters.
Well, and then the group. One of my favorite events, hospitality related, is the employee recognition luncheon that the hospitality industry puts on, recognizing the people that do all the heavy lifting in the hotel, the waiters, the maids, the housekeepers, the receptionists, and they highlight people that have gone a bit above and beyond the call of service and have been extremely attentive to the visitors' needs. And it really means a lot to these people to get that recognition because they work very, very hard out of sight most of the time.
It's very strange that people actually think about them here in the area. And to me, it's one of the, being as a restaurateur, I find that we don't have professional waiters here. Not a lot of them. The ones that are professional, they stay in places like the Portola or places like Anton and Michel or L'Aubergine. And the fact is, the Aubergine is luxury food. They have to know a lot about wines. They have to know about the Lataches and the Barolos and the Brunellos. And you don't find other people like that. And like say in my restaurant, what is a Brunello? No. It's a dish. And see, you don't find anything like that. They're not educated enough in the terminology in food and wine that is not there.
Sure.
So when they go to a restaurant, you teach, and pay. Which they shouldn't be like that. They should be able to respect the profession, because being a waiter is not easy. Being a waiter, it's a profession that you must know.
You're on your feet the whole time.
Not only that, in the old days, if you, let's say you come in as my guest, at the restaurant and you order steak, I don't know when to dump that steak on the pan and say, pick it up. The waiter have to be, and there's this fire number 2 or whatever, and then you know that it's going to be medium rare or so.
Yeah.
But
and the customer's always right. You can't argue with the customer.
No.
My favorite place to sit in a restaurant, and my wife is at the food prep counter, where you can actually sit there. The Boulevard, for example, in San Francisco, you can sit right there and watch the sous chefs cooking, and the activity that goes on, and the sort of rhythm that they have in order to be each doing their own individual tasks.
Yeah, it's all
and
here.
then out comes this fantastic product at the end.
Yes.
It's great fun.
Yeah, as I say, that's old school.
Yeah.
Because the waiter comes, put that steak on the fire, or put the ground beef. All of those dishes, you don't find them anymore. And the steak, yes, because the steak is easy to do that. Right. But again, I like you mentioned the Tony Toll. He has the grill, one of the oldest restaurants in the area, actually. Mm-hmm. And then next door used to be Chevy's, that I remember when I came to the area.
Jeez, yeah, that was a while ago.
That was a long time ago, and Chevy's gone out of business in there.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know.
Yeah,
Chevy's, I think they gave you a good food, and they gave you good portions of food, and actually they did everything fresh.
A fun place to go is Wills Fargo in Carmel Valley.
Oh,
I enjoy dropping in there, and I'm real excited about the redo of Rocky Point. That was one of the signature restaurants. Peter Wang has come in, Dr. Wang, and invested hundreds of thousands of dollars to put it back to the caliber it used to be. I had a fantastic meal down there the other day.
Really?
The view is unsurpassable. I mean, you can't beat that view.
No.
And it's close. It's not,
Well, it's kind of dangerous to drive up there.
You got to be, obviously.
You can.
Yeah, well, there's no harm in taking a cab,
There you go.
Yeah.
$100 cab.
Yeah. Cheaper than a ticket.
There you go. Yeah, yes, indeed.
But no, that's a fun spot. Or lunch down there, a late lunch.
Beautiful.
Another good spot. But it's got an iconic view.
Indeed, it's the best properties in the area. That Rocky Point.
A good place to drop in for drinks. Sardine Factory's still got that old world charm in there. I enjoy that.
The Sardine Factory.
Yeah, the Sardine Factory's fun for old world, and there's a couple other.
Have you tried the beach place now?
Yes.
Nowadays?
Yeah, I know. Oh no, Gilbert's new place.
Mm-hmm.
No, I haven't been there yet. I've been to the Bench a couple of times at the Lodge.
Well,
I like it, but I think you're right. It's too bad Club 19 went out of business. Yeah. Of course, the public's demands change, their interests change, and if you don't roll with the times, you're going to go out of business. So
yeah,
you got to stay contemporary.
But what do you think of the Bench?
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. I like the fact that you can sit outside. You are actually more. You feel like you're more part of that experience because you're at ground level. You're not just sort of overlooking.
Right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I was, I was surprised that was what the venue turned out to be. But
right.
It's good. Yeah. And it'll be a busy week out there coming up. That whole week right after Super Bowl, right after the following.
Hopefully it's better. It gets better because most of the people don't go out to the restaurants.
Yeah, I know we need to get them out there.
They don't. They can't.
Well, a lot of people coming down from the Bay Area for a day. The buses from Fort Ord. Yeah, there's a lot of controversy about that.
Well, it is a lot because restaurants like ours,
right?
They don't get anybody there.
No, so then you got to go out to Fort Ord, drive back into town.
You don't come back.
You're probably just going to get in the car and go back to the South Bay Area.
They don't come back.
Yeah.
So the AT&T is kind of lower, but then the best one is the Concord.
Yeah.
You can't say anything Concord. They come in, they spend the most money, and they have the most money.
Yeah, they do.
Because to buy a car like that, and they take care of better than their wives to put them on the trailer. The trailer, the car. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have 10,000 paintings, That's very expensive cars in there.
Oh, it was unbelievable. I actually enjoy going to the auction.
Yeah?
A couple of them. I mean, there's one going on over at the Hyatt. There's one going on in the Conference Center, Russo Steel. It's interesting to see the crowd.
In front of the Portola, do they have some cars in there also?
Yep. But the cast of characters that comes into town is pretty interesting.
Well, you get, what's his name, this guy used to do Johnny Carson's show.
Leno.
Jay Leno buys cars. He's got like 40,000 cars in there.
Well, and I hadn't, up until a few years ago, I hadn't gone out to the historic races at Laguna Seca. That's an experience.
I've never been there.
I was shocked at how much fun it was. Just looking at the cars, and these are vintage cars that have a lot of money invested in them, and they're racing them around the track full speed. I mean, there's no hesitancy about going all out when they're racing out there.
Wow.
It's impressive.
What about motorcycling?
Yeah, well, I was sorry to see we lost the MotoGP.
Lost it?
That was a big event. It was, the number one event at the track. One of the things that I hope is that we can figure out how to improve the environment out there at Laguna Seca, so that while we have a world-class track, it's located in a very underutilized environment. It's very brown in color as far as the landscaping goes and everything. We need to be able to reinvigorate that place so we can go ahead and have more of the appropriate kind of events that were originally conceived there. And so that when we have somebody like MotoGP back again, we need to hold on to them and not lose them, because they were good for the hotels, they were good for the restaurants, and good for the general economy. I mean, it's not just buying that ticket at Laguna Seca, it's what you do when you're not at the track that really helps the economy here.
Right, yes. And then if you had lost it, we can't get it back?
It's gone to Indianapolis.
Oh, boy.
They threw a bunch of money at them. They offered them a bunch of concessions to get them located there, and they just decided to move out. So
I had the Ducati team used to come to our restaurant.
Oh, that'd be fun.
They used to come, not anymore, because and I was missing it. What in the world would happen? Now I know.
Yeah, it's not coming back. So unfortunate. Yeah.
I remember the old times when we had tournaments with the old guys, the old masters, like the Argentinians and all those guys.
Yeah.
We used to hit balls in there with them, Pepe and I.
Sure.
And it was they rebuilt that beautiful courts,
Yeah.
Put seats in there and all that.
That was
You should
great.
bring that back.
Yeah. Well, it's like any sport. They're kind of cyclical. I mean, tennis, for example, kind of fallen off for a while. Now it's starting to come back. Golf overbuilt the number of golf courses around, and now the golf industry is having a hard time. You can get on a golf course around here pretty easily, just about any day of the week.
I can't afford to play golf.
Well, you got to get the right package.
There you go. Yeah, I play tennis. Tennis is my deal.
Tennis is all the public courts are free. It's $2.99 for a can of balls.
There you go.
And all you need to do is find
find a good partner,
find somebody to play with, and there's always a good game going on.
Yeah.
No, it's a great game. Like I said, I play 2 or 3 times a week. And I'm lucky. My wife's an athlete, so I can beat her in tennis. But I gotta watch it. I gotta watch it, because if she
she got a better backhand than forehand.
She's got a killer backhand. She's got a good serve
Two
too.
back?
No, but no, single. But if she smells the fact that I might be not on my A game, she'll try to clobber me. She can beat me in golf. I'll admit that. I'll admit that.
Way,
no, she can hit the ball. I get asked to play in tournaments only because they know she'll play with me, and then she can hit from the ladies' tee, and she can outdrive the men from the men's tees.
No way.
So no, that's just unfair. She should have to hit from the men's tees all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, she can hit. So it's great.
So you guys have a great life.
Yeah, most of the time you got to go find a buddy, and then he's got to be back at a certain time, and you got to be back at a certain time, and all I got to do is wake her up and say, okay, let's go. We'll go, like on a Saturday, we'll go play 4 or 5 sets of doubles, usually at Carmel High, sometimes at the Beach Club, and then we'll go get her 96-year-old stepdad, Bob Boddicker, and we'll go out and play 18 holes of golf.
Wow.
Yeah, and Bob can hit the ball.
Let's continue more of this, playing tennis and playing hockey and playing all those things right after this message.
Anything? I got nothing. Pencils! Yes! I want a pizza! Had to work late again. No, don't wait dinner. I'll just grab something.
It's a taste worth working late for. Pizza's made to a higher standard. Me and Ed's, 2 fun guys, 1 serious pizza.
MeTV's version of foul language.
They're talking about Fred. They're talking about Fred. Yeah, they're saying cheap, cheap, cheap.
MeTV's political slant.
If you can't trust the voters, whom can you trust?
Credits where credits are due at the end of every show.
Sure sounds good.
MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
Wow.
Old-fashioned TV trays are okay, but you're always too far away. Hi, David Jones with the TableMate, the transformable table that slides to you, making everything you do more comfortable. Whether you're eating, reading, or playing a game, TableMate lets you sit back and slide the table right up to your body. And with the built-in adjustable cup holder, no matter what position your TableMate's in, your cup will stay in. TableMate's L-shaped legs slide over any surface. TableMate easily adjusts to 6 different heights and 3 comfortable angles. It's like having 18 tables in one. The raised lip makes sure nothing slides or rolls off. And when you're done, it folds flat for storage, and it stacks for easy access. You could spend over $250 on all these tables, and they still couldn't do what one TableMate can for just $29.95. But wait, call or log on now, and we'll send you a second TableMate free. Just pay separate processing and handling, all for just $29.95.
Hello, thank you for coming right back. We're talking about one of the best places to visit right at this moment is Carmel. And who else can tell you best places to go but our supervisor, Mr. Dave Potter. So, yeah, we were talking about that. You can't be late in there to have a drink at 10 o'clock because everything is closed. And
yeah, fortunately, there's a few places that have been staying open later. Right. Demetra's will serve as long as they've got a crowd. The Mundaka's for tapas is a great spot. And there's a couple other places. But you'd think with the European clientele and the Central and South American group that always dine at like about 10 or 10:30,
right.
We try to cater to that community a little bit more because they're spending money. And they're not, if you're going out to dinner and you want to sit there and have another bottle of wine and
why not?
Why not? And stay open.
Yeah, because there's not many places to stay open because they know, especially where I come from, Pacific Road, 9:30, forget it. It's nothing open.
Yeah.
Nothing open, and it's I don't know why. I mean, and more restaurants keep opening.
Yeah.
And more restaurants. And how in the world we're going to do any business? And then the football. Now football, you die because everybody's they're watching the 49ers. So what do you think of that now? The Seahawks are probably you like that. You're a Seahawk man.
Well, now I'm a
49er.
I'm a Red Sox. I'm a Red Sox, Patriots, Celtics, and Bruins. I'm a Sharks. I'm a Niners. I'm a Warriors. And a Giants fan. So I've got the best of both worlds because I've got teams on the East Coast and teams on the West Coast that I could support. What I was hoping was going to happen was that the Patriots were going to end up facing off against the Niners. That would have been a great East Coast West Coast rivalry, but unfortunately, that both those plans fell apart. So
you have Peyton Manning now.
Yeah.
He's going to be at the Super Bowl, and I think he's well deserves that to be at the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, I mean he's a veteran. He's a warrior. Look at his statistics this year.
He's an incredible quarterback.
Overwhelming. But my theory was when I would go back and visit my mother, I have a small apartment. It's a converted attic in my hometown of Hingham, Massachusetts. It's about 17 miles south of Boston. But my theory was that I just, I'd have a change of clothes there and stuff, but I wouldn't need a TV because I could just go across the street to the Irish pub of the Snug, which is right across the street from our apartment. And that didn't work out financially at all well. I was there for the Red Sox going on, you had football, you had hockey, so it was costing me about $60 to watch one game because it's about 4 hours and there's 2 of us there, and so I finally realized this isn't working out financially at all well. I've got to get a TV. So that saves me a bunch of money now.
Yeah,
I was good for the economy in Hingham, but it wasn't helping my pocketbook at all.
So now you have a television, and
now we can. It's actually kind of an interesting place. It's in an old colonial on the town square in Hingham. Hingham was founded in 1635.
Do you still have the flat?
Yeah, it is a flat. And so the first floor is a flower shop and a dress shop. The second floor is the owner's unit, and the third floor, which is the attic, is what we have.
Oh, nice!
It's great. It's got a bed, bath, little kitchenette, and a dining living room area. But the exterior walls are about 30 inches high, and then it takes off on the rake of the roof. So even I could hit my head getting out of bed. So it's got a lot of dormers though that pop out. So there's headroom. It's not really an inconvenience, but it definitely was an attic at some point.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's great. My mother really enjoys the fact that we come back to see her. Usually, it's only for a couple of days, because I can't get away that often, and it's even harder for my wife because she's got to be in the hotel. But if there's a holiday that's coming along or something, and 4th of July, Memorial Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, we went back the Sunday before Christmas and flew back on New Year's Day. So
wow.
But then we get her out and take her around, and in '96 she doesn't have a whole lot of people that can drive, let alone that are still alive that are her age bracket.
Yeah.
So we take her over to parties that she wouldn't get to normally, and she's fine. She really is. She's amazing for '96.
That little bourbon.
Oh yeah. I think that's the oil that keeps her engine running. Yeah. On the rocks, exactly. Just splash of water. Splash of water. Yeah.
To bruise the bourbon.
Oh yeah. And then she's amazing. We were over visiting the other morning, and I heard her say to Janine, "Well, Janine, I didn't sleep very well last night, and stomach seemed to be kind of messed up." And I said, "Gosh, is there something wrong with her?" She said, "Did you see what your mother had to eat last night?" I said, "No. What?" She goes, "Well, she had a bourbon and water before she left the apartment." She said, "Then when we got to the restaurant, she had lobster bisque, lobster sliders, a glass of wine, tiramisu, half a creme brulee, and finished the evening off with a Kioki coffee."
My goodness.
Now that would have made me feel sick, but she managed it. Didn't leave it. She's from that Depression era group. Doesn't leave a thing on the plate.
Right.
Yeah, clean plate club.
That's
without a
wonderful.
doubt. But yeah, it's pretty entertaining.
Yes, and it's nice for you to go and visit.
Yeah, I'm an only child, so
Really?
I know she's not going to live forever, but I enjoy going back.
So is she by herself, or your dad?
My dad passed away 32 years ago.
Oh, I see.
And so she was living alone she's an artist, so she was living alone on 2.5 acres in a house that she had designed herself and then had built. And she realized that at 95, she should probably be making some arrangements and move to a facility that'll have the extended care as she comes to need it. And so she went to start selling the house, and she couldn't handle it emotionally. And she just went off the air, forgot she'd sold the house, hadn't done a thing about moving, nothing for the furniture, nothing about the proceeds of the sale. She just forgot. And the family doctor called me up and said, "Dave, your mother's kind of off the air these days." So my daughter flew back real quick, and then she called up and said, "Whoa, you better get back here." And she got real sick for a while. I mean, we didn't think she was going to make it.
Lonely.
And now she the house sold, but she's in a assisted living facility that's kind of like a bed and breakfast. I mean, there's only about 80 people in it.
Right.
There's apparently a nurse somewhere in the building. I've never seen her. And she eats 3 meals a day with everybody. But she has her own 2-bedroom apartment. She's got a 2-bedroom apartment. One of them set up as her art studio, and it was a bit of a adjustment for her to go from living alone like that and driving to all of a sudden being totally dependent on somebody else. And that's becoming more and more an issue as people age, longer. They live a lot longer these days than expected. So
I think your mom needed to go back to painting. I think in painting it's a great distraction. I mean, I paint, and sometimes I paint 2 hours. And it's gone. I mean, 2-3 hours.
Yeah, it's a great escape. She was a commercial artist and was working as a civilian at Camp Lee, Virginia during the war, and she did posters. She did manuals she did all the illustrations for him.
Right.
And that's where she met my father, who was from Hingham, my hometown.
Right.
She was from Minnesota. They met. My dad's an only child. They got married at Fort Lee and came back to Hingham. And my dad was vice president of a publishing company, and my mother for years did illustrations for primers, kind of those C. Dick Jane run books, kind of books, for elementary school or kids as they're learning to read. And I actually posed for a whole bunch of those illustrations when I was a kid. Yeah. But she's a very good artist in multiple mediums, not just painting, but carving and sculpting.
Really?
Yeah, sculpting, and she's very creative.
Well, that's what that she needed to go back into that. Yeah. I have my girlfriend has a gallery with me where I am at the corner of the building where I am, and she does those illustrations of women, fashion, and all that. But he doesn't get too much business out of it here because she's kind of hidden away out in.
Yeah, I know right where you're talking.
Yeah.
But your business is a great business. I mean,
Well,
I'd be awfully proud of that if I were you.
I am.
You said
I'd love
14 years?
Yes, yeah.
That's impressive.
I like to say that yes, and I mean that I've been there, and I'm going to stay there a little longer.
Well, yeah, you're too young to retire.
Yeah, I'm stronger, but
yeah,
I can't afford the prices of Carmel, definitely, or any other place.
But PG is such a great community anyway. You've got such a wonderful inventory of Victorian homes.
Yes.
Lovers Point, the scenic walk along the water over to Asilomar. There's just some great opportunities.
There you go. You hear that from Supervisor Dave Porter. So visit Pacific Grove a little more.
Absolutely.
And support your restaurants. Support Alberto's definitely, and support the other restaurants. Yes, why not? Because we have the best venues there. We have the aquarium. All the kinds of things to visit. So remember, visit Pacific Grove. And remember to make a reservation at Alberto's Ristorante, which is on 1219 Pacific Grove. Area code 831-373-3993. And we're going to say goodbye. We had an incredible visit with Supervisor Dave Porter, which is one of the best people in town. And hopefully he gives us the honor again to come back maybe next month. But maybe we get a hotelier probably next week. And we talk about a passionate people that love the hotel business and the restaurant business in one building. So we can talk about it perhaps next week. So have a great day, and ciao for now, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.